What a beautiful day, beautiful October day. I'm out here at the creek and I would just like to do a little 4-year update on the ExtremeLED's light bar. And this is the X6S Slim Amber and Clear LED light bar in the 44-inch variety. Now, I'm not a lighting purist or loyalist, so I'm not loyal to any brand. I did purchase this light bar because I purchased this Sherpa equipment roof rack and they had the light bar available on their website, and they had pre-made brackets for this light bar specifically. So that's why I went with it. I also liked that it was amber and clear and that each section was selectable. So I could do just clear and I could do just amber. Doesn't look very bright in the daytime. So how has this light bar held up? Well, let's look at it. You can see, so I park this truck outside all the time. So it's never garage. It's maybe been in the garage once or twice in some strong storms, but in general, it gets parked outside. And sometimes I park under a tree. But you can tell it does have some fading on the plastic, which that is to be expected. Now, I don't know how many miles this truck had when I put the light bar on. It has 135,000 miles on it now. I am guessing that this light bar has been on the truck for at least 115,000 miles. So that is 4 years, 115,000 miles of road rage, road grime, weather, all that. So yeah, the plastic's a little faded. The lenses, they don't have any cracks or damage on them. It is a little dirty. I forgot to clean this. Nothing on the light bar is broken. There are a couple spots where I have some like little nicks, probably from rocks or whatever. The stainless hardware has held up well, which I cannot remember if this was hardware that came with the light bar or hardware that came with Sherpa for the mount. I imagine since it is threaded for the light bar, it probably came with the light bar, but the stainless hardware has held up, along with all the stainless hardware for all of the fasteners securing the lens. Soon after I did the installation of the light bar, I did a video, and I had someone in the comments of that video maybe 1.5 years ago ask how well this light bar has held up. And I gave a quick response because I was super busy, and I said, well, it's not working and there's water in the housing. And that was a really hasty response because I hadn't had time to dig into what was actually going on. And let me tell you what was happening. So an issue that I had was every time I hit the amber, it would work. But then when I would hit the white wouldn't come on. And actually the white would come on, it would just be very, very dim, which, you know, right now it's daytime and you can't really tell what's going on. But right here is the connector. So I have it all kind of wrapped around my arm. Let me zoom out a little bit. And here's the connector where the wiring harness connects to the actual pigtail coming out of the light bar. What had happened, it's a waterproof connector that, man, it's gonna be hard to see as I have it all zip tied in here. But essentially you mate the two halves together, and then that outer collar that's right below my finger, you turn it and tighten it, and it makes the seal. Well, I had gotten some water in there and there was a little bit of corrosion on the pins. I mean, I thought I had it tight, but obviously it wasn't super tight. I mean, I tightened as hard as I could with my hands, but still a little bit of water got in there. And so what I ended up doing is I took it apart, I dried it out, I cleaned up the pins, and I put a little dielectrical grease in there, and I tightened it, and I took 2 pairs of channel locks, and on this back side, you can see it's got like a hex head, so you can put a wrench on this side, and then get a pair of channel locks on the side that turns, and I just cranked it super tight just to get it to seat completely. So that fixed my problem with the connectivity, and I haven't had a problem since. That's been probably 1.5 years, and it's been perfect since. Then the other problem that I had was I had some moisture behind the lens. I have never had water behind the lens from like a rainstorm. So anytime it rains, I never get water inside. It's just whenever we have huge temperature changes, like we do here in Missouri, is whenever I will get condensation behind the lens. And it's usually just a little bit. And so in the mornings, like when you have maybe some dew on the grass, I may have a little bit of condensation behind the lens, and then it goes away, it dries up. Condensation is something that can happen on, you know, headlight assemblies and on LED light bars. Now, how extreme or how often should that happen? I don't know. I emailed Extreme LEDs asking about condensation, and they said it was completely normal. It's just whenever, if you have water getting in during rain, then that would be an indication that the seal around the lenses have failed. And I probably should have cleaned this a little bit before, because this is like really dirty. You know, none of the reflectors have rust or anything from any type of condensation that has formed. And a great thing about Extreme LED is that they have a lifetime warranty on their light bars. Now, other than that connector up there, how is the wiring held up? Well, I have my wiring harness coming down the windshield and coming into the engine bay, and I have had no issues with the wiring. I literally just quickly put the relay set up right here and zip tied it 4 years ago, and I haven't changed it since. I need to maybe mount it a little more permanent. And so this has all worked flawlessly. Now, I cannot say anything about the switches that Extreme LED includes with the kit. I replaced their generic lighted switches with a aftermarket switch for a Toyota that kind of matches the aesthetic and look of the originals of what's already in the cabin. And so how is the light output after 4 years? Still good. Still on high beams, on the standard headlight high beams. And then here's the light bar. Light bar off, and light bar again. Here's amber mixed in there. I don't have a way to measure light output, you know, lumens or any of that stuff, and I didn't do that when I made the video 4 years ago. But I will say it still impresses me how bright the light is. I did a lot of traveling overnight and early in the morning, and so I used the clear, the white, a lot. And then the ambers, I will use that, you know, it gets really foggy down here because we have a few lakes. And so when it's super foggy out, I'll run the ambers on the highway. But as far as the light output on the cleared, I mean, it's still super bright, brighter than my headlights, brighter than the high beams on my headlights. And on this light bar, the amber is a fluted or fogged type of, or flood type of lens. And then the clear is a more spot. They have replacement lenses if you wanted, you know, flood on the clears or on some of them, or wanted spot on the amber, you know, you could have them all switched out. Of course, I think if you take the covers off yourself and replace them, then you void the warranty. And how does the bracket hold up? Well, like I mentioned, this bracket came from Sherpa Equipment, specifically for this light bar. The light bar comes with a bracket, a mounting bracket. I don't have that anymore. I think I threw it away because I don't like holding on to stuff like that. Even though it could be handy for something, but I threw it away. So I don't know how the brackets hold up. I imagine they are stout and wouldn't have caused any problems, but I really don't know. So anyways, that is the Extreme LEDs 44-inch light bar 4 years later, more than 4 years, more than 4 years later after the install. And I'll post a couple links to the light bar down below, so check those out. But if you have any other questions about the light bar and how it performs, don't hesitate to ask in the comments.